Welcome back to Q&A with the Violatrix, FinDom, 19-year FinDom. I had a woman reach out who booked a consult with me, a private session through my website, www.theviolatrix.com. And she wanted to take things to the next level. She's really serious about becoming a FinDom. Actually, she's thinking about not really taking the FinDom route, which if you guys follow me, you know that I always say the smallest amount of men are looking for women in FinDom. You should not enter FinDom unless you use it as an ancillary listing or ancillary service. It should not be your main listing because such a small percentage of men are looking for that. You're not going to make much money. You'll get discouraged and you won't be in the business very long. But she has decided to do a little bit of a different type of branding. She's going to brand herself at, well, actually, I shouldn't even say what she's going to brand herself as, but she had we came up with a very creative way to brand herself that is a little bit dominant, could be submissive, kind of middle of the road. So she's catching all of the clientele, not pigeonholing or niching down until she figures out what she likes best. But she sent me a list of questions and I wanted to share some of them with you because they were really great questions. The first one was, will you offer guidance on what genre of phone cam type of operator I can be? Yes, of course. When you book a private consult with me, I cover everything from doing a deep dive on you, finding out what your skills are, what your interests are, what you like, what you don't like, what you're most comfortable with. And then together we custom tailor a brand, at least a starting brand, for you to begin your journey as a PSO or FinDom or whatever, cam girl, whatever you want to, however you want to do your business. It is absolutely imperative, as I mentioned to her, that we choose something that you can pop off with information at the drop of a hat. Because the moment the phone rings and the money starts billing the client, you have to be able to pivot on a dime with a fantasy, a storyline, an idea. And if you are not using something in your branding or your persona that you know, like the back of your hand, that you could do with your eyes closed, sleeping, eating, living, breathing, you're going to really struggle and you're going to stumble. And the more stumbling, the more mistakes, the more likely they are to hang up on you. And it's not going to result in a good call. So yes, of course, not only do I cover your branding and do the deep dive on you, but we don't get off the phone until we have something set or several ideas set and then a plan of action for you. That's imperative. So that's what you get if you book the consulting with me. I always tell everybody, don't book consulting until you're really serious about this. Buy my book, absorb my masterclass, get all my free data, follow my TikTok at SheCodesCash, follow my Instagram at FinDom Masterclass. There's information all over the place that I'm dispensing. Don't buy something until you absolutely are ready for that next level. My Stan Store at SheCodesCash. I have a $22 course. That's everything you need to know to get up and running. Do I need an LLC? No, not to start. You absolutely do not need an LLC. Do not go making big business expenditures until you really know what you're doing and what you want to do and what kind of direction. The worst thing you can do is take on a lot of overhead and then you decide that you don't like it, or maybe you get a different job. Maybe you get married and you don't need to work. Just don't take on a lot of expenses, okay? And everybody's tax situation is going to be different. But in a PSO, phone sex operator, cam girl, FinDom, whatever, consultant, any of these things, very little is going to be able to be written off. If you're doing cam, yes, you'll be able to write off a certain amount of cosmetics or wigs or costumes, that sort of thing. But really, in the end, it doesn't make that much sense when you're starting out. You start making the big money, then talk to your accountant. Can you try more than one genre? Absolutely. You can make multiple listings. I don't recommend making multiple listings on one site. If you're going to do multiple listings, spread them out amongst several different sites. Try this persona on this site, try this persona on that site, because if you're trying to be jack of all trades, you're master of none, you're not really going to build and grow. And the ideal scenario is that you will build a following based on your specialties. How have you structured your business, and would you do anything differently starting over? The biggest thing that I would do differently starting over is I would have never signed up for Phone with Cam. Because I signed up for Phone with Cam and I have thousands of listings, positive feedback on my listing, I can't switch out of it. So that means that every time I want to work, I can't do it from the car while I'm driving. I can't roll out of bed and do it. I must be camera ready every time I get, every time I want to log in and make some money. So that's my biggest suggestion to you, is don't sign up for Phone with Cam. You can offer Cam if you're choosing to do Cam. You can also do this faceless. That's what a lot of people ask me. But if you do Cam, do it here and there, schedule it, and upcharge for it instead of it being built into your listing, and I can't upcharge for it at all. And then she says, what else? Really, her questions were really kind of specific to her. So if you have any specific questions, please write them for me underneath any one of my YouTube videos. I will reply with its own video. You can also write underneath my IG, my Instagram, at FinDom Masterclass, and my TikTok as well, at She Codes Cash. Bye-bye.